favorite activities as a chess player slash author is finding lines that go against the grain, go against natural play and convention. Is when you're able to find a line that allows your opponent to do what's been recommended in countless books and you can punish them for it, it leaves them scratching their head at the end of the game and you with a full point. And this line I've been working with for a Chessable text, and I've had a few very nice wins with it, including one against a high-rated IM, and I'd like to share you this line that can be played against the King's Indian attack. And this is from a French move order, but keep in mind, you could, if you are, say, a 1d5 player, play it against this move order if you have a line for the Catalan, which we will get to the move order, say. From this, it will be a transposition into the main game. But with e4, we'll see us getting to that same position relatively quickly. And we've got our standard setup. And there's a lot of different ways to play for black, but generally going back when you look at those famous games by Bobby Fischer playing the King's Indian attack when he was young, it's we're going to slam by taking space in the center, kicking away the best defender of the king's side, and then we are going to line up this big attack, get a bishop on f4, and it's sack mate over on the king's side. Well, we're going to change the script a little bit here. Everything looks like it's going according to what's in many King's Indian attack books. We get space on the queen side, still following one of the main lines, and white begins his journey with a knight, h4, knight f1. These are pretty much interchangeable moves. I'm just getting basic development done with black, e5, and we've got the cemented structure. Bishop f4, overprotecting the pawn. Queen c7. And this is where the plan begins for black. I've got my queen on this optimal square. And it should be noted, if white goes for a knight e3 in here, the idea is to be able to play knight takes d5. Let's say if I waste a move here, knight takes d5, e takes d5, e5 with the discovery. So that's one of the few tricks to watch out for in this position. And after knight e3, very likely the best move is d4 here, and we'll get similar play to the main continuation, which is with h4. Now, this is what I define in my Chessable courses as a memory marker, or a defining moment in the opening that is going to dictate the plan for you for the next number of moves. So we know what white's plan is. They're gradually pushing this pawn forward. This knight is coming around one way or another to g4. They're looking for a sacrifice, and they want everything involved. So we're going to play directly against this plan. We need to optimize our setup. There's only one perfect square for the rook, which is why we moved the queen earlier, and that's c8. This is going to become more clear later. Rook on an open c-file. When I play knight d4, if I get rid of one more attacker by him capturing, our rook is going to be fully involved on the open file. So as the plan continues, knight 1 h2, and it's the same thing if h5. We go h6 to make sure they can't go h6. And this is that matador waving the red flag in front of the bull. Hey, come on, come on. So one knight h2, h6, and you see the powers that be lining up. Now, we needed to vacate the rook from f8 to be able to play bishop f8 to add support. And on knight g4, everything's lined up for white. They have their ideal attacking position. Queen d8. The opponent goes h5. And I started to realize that my opponent understood this position. I go knight d4, ready to trade. Better move than taking immediately. And I've got time here. If white's not going to sacrifice, I'm going to play on the side of the board that I have more space, on the queen side. And it should be noted that the sacrifice just simply does not work, and the reason we needed to bring the queen back was so that she could come to f8. We're fully protected, the attack is over, and this follows the game that I played with the aforementioned IM at the beginning of the video, which is going to be covered in my 1e6 repertoire on Chessable. So after rook c7, d4 was played. All right, well, let's try to break it open. And I was a little bit premature here, as white can play c takes b4, and I get to capture in the middle, but much better without any rushing, and any extra counterplay for white is a5 and then b4. So then after b4, I start simplifying, and now I have two different ideas with this next move. It would be very easy and natural to play a move like rook c8, but I was looking for something a bit more devious. I played a5. Well, it's an innocent pawn move. Not really. This bishop and this bishop both have ideas. The bad bishop is currently staring at our central pawn that's stuck. We're looking at the potential of trading it off. And this bishop is looking to go here with a nasty skewer. After knight e3, my opponent missed the idea. But before and after queen b2, don't be in such a hurry to just grab material. When you have full control over the position, you can get that much extra more out of the game. Bishop c3, and I'm fishing to see if the queen will go to a square where I can continue to get time and space for free. So queen b3, well, look at that. a4, I get another little bit. Queen b5, well, I wanted to play bishop a6 anyway. Thank you very much. The queen's on an awkward square. Well, let's go ahead and take here first. And we're in no hurry to capture the rook yet, because I can optimize my rook with rook b8 and see how I've improved pretty much every part of my position, from white just being kicked around. And this type of principle is the never bring your queen out early. The queen keeps losing time over and over is the reason that's so bad. And we kind of see it here in action. So the queen gets out of the way, but I'm like, no, come back, because I want your queen as far away from my king as possible, because now the only chance white could have is some sort of all-out sacrifice. So I'm going to want to trade queens as quickly as possible here, and I win the game. But trades in general will do. Queen c8 is definitely a strong candidate move. I went with rook c to b7, threatening check on the back rank. So that stopped. I go, okay, rook b2 is in the very least. I'm forcing the queen to make multiple moves before it's going to be useful. Queen c1. And I say to myself, I don't want to even give you the opportunity. It cuts my advantage by a considerable amount, but the knight and bishop aren't going to be able to coordinate, and my queen is very likely just going to go after the a2 pawn, and we're going to queen the a pawn in the event that the queen trades for the two rooks. I go from being -7 to -5 with this decision. This is a practical human decision to make the game easier and have less chance for some knockout punch sacrificed by the opponent. But queen d2 was played, and here I should follow my principle from earlier and get a bit more with rook 8 to b2, but rook takes e1 is completely adequate, followed by queen b6. Again, I am just looking, when I'm up material, to simplify the win. There goes another pawn, and as the knight moves, what am I looking to do? Simplification. I get what I want, and my 2300 rated opponent had enough in this position. Hopefully you enjoyed this line in dealing with the King's Indian attack. I'm quite pleased with the simplicity of the plan and the effectiveness of it. The engine seems to like it as well. So check it out in that E6 book. Thanks.